What if you don't see the same things as others, but you are 100% sure you're right? Ever wonder if both of you could actually be wrong? And the truth is somewhere in between? It happens all the time, right? As Anais Nin said, we don't see things as they are. We see them as we are. That brings us to a story where you might have heard, The Blind Man and the Elephant. This tale teaches us a valuable lesson about perspective and understanding. It shows us that we all see the world through different lenses. And not only by hearing other perspectives can we uncover the full truth. Stick around and see how embracing different viewpoints can not only open your eyes to the bigger picture, but also help you untap your true potential. Welcome to Untapping Your Potential, where we will share with you motivational stories, motivational figures, comeback stories, and public speaking tips that will keep you growing and inspire you to take action. Long ago, 6 old men lived in a village in India. Each was born blind. The other villagers loved the old men and kept them away from harm. Since the blind men could not see the world for themselves, they had to imagine many of its wonders. They listened carefully to the stories told by travelers to learn what they could about life outside the village. The men were curious about many of the stories they heard, but they were most curious about elephants. They were told that elephants could trample forests, carry huge burdens, and frighten young and old with their loud trumpet calls. But the Raja, their kingdom's king, and his daughter rode an elephant when they traveled around the kingdom. Would Raja let his daughter get near such a dangerous creature? The old men argued day and night about the elephant. An elephant must be a powerful giant, claimed the first blind man. He heard stories about elephants being used to clear forests and build roads. No, you must be wrong, argued the second blind man. An elephant must be graceful and gentle if a princess is to ride on his back. You're wrong. I have heard an elephant can pierce a man's heart with this terrible horn, said the blind man. Please, said the fourth blind man, you're all mistaken. An elephant is nothing more than a large, sort of a cow. You know how people exaggerate. I am sure that an elephant is something magical, said the fifth blind man. That would explain why Raja's daughter can travel safely through the kingdom. I don't believe elephants exist at all, declared the sixth blind man. I think we are the victims of a cruel joke. Finally, the villagers grew tired of all their arguments, and they arranged for the curious men to visit the palace of the Raja to learn about the truth about the elephant. A young boy from their village was selected to guide the blind men on their journey. The smallest man put his hand on the boy's shoulder. The second blind man put his hand on the friend's shoulder, and so on, until all 6 men were ready to walk safely behind the boy, who led them to Raja's magnificent palace. When the blind men reached the palace, they were greeted by an old friend from their village who worked as a gardener on the palace grounds. Their friend led them to the courtyard. There stood an elephant. The blind men stepped forward to touch the creature that was the subject of so many arguments. The first blind man reached out and touched the side of the huge animal. An elephant is smooth and solid like a wall, he declared. It must be very powerful. The second blind man put his hand on the elephant's limber trunk. An elephant is like a giant snake, he announced. The third blind man felt the elephant's pointed tusk. I was right, he said. This creature is as sharp and deadly as a spear. The fourth blind man touched one of the elephant's 4 legs. What we have here, he said, is an extremely large cow. The fifth blind man felt the elephant's giant ear. I believe an elephant is like a huge fan, or maybe a magic carpet that can fly over mountains and treetops, he said. The sixth blind man gave a tug on the elephant's coarse tail. Why? This is nothing more than a piece of old rope. Dangerous indeed, he scoffed. The gardener led his friends to the shade of the tree. Sit here and rest for the long journey home, he said. I will bring you some water to drink. While they waited, the sixth blind man talked about the elephant. An elephant is like a wall, said the first blind man. Surely we can finally agree on that. A wall? An elephant is like a giant snake, answered the second blind man. It's a spear, I tell you, insisted the third blind man. I'm certain it's a giant cow, said the fourth blind man. Magic carpet, there's no doubt, said the fifth blind man. Don't you see, pleaded the sixth blind man, someone used a rope to trick us. The arguments continued, and their shouts grew louder and louder. Wall, snake, spear, cow, carpet, rope. Stop shouting, called a very angry voice. It was Raja, awakened from his nap by the noisy arguments. How can each of you be so certain you are right? Asked the ruler. The 6 blind men considered the question, and then, knowing Raja to be a very wise man, they decided to say nothing at all. The elephant is a very large animal, said Raja kindly. Each man touch only one part. Perhaps if you put your parts together, you will see the truth. Now, let me finish my nap in peace. When their friend returned to the garden with the cool water, the 6 men rested quietly in the shade, thinking about Raja's advice. He's right, said the first blind man. To learn the truth, we must put all the parts together. Let's discuss this on the journey home. The first blind man put his hand on the shoulder of the young boy who would guide them home. The second blind man put a hand on his friend's shoulder, and so on until all 6 men were ready to travel together. The whole is greater than the sum of his parts. Aristotle. Just like blind men, everyone sees the world in their own way. Each person might have a unique experience or understanding of something. Look, it's easy to think you're right, but what if someone else had a different piece of the puzzle? Sometimes we think we know exactly what's going on, but there's always more to the story, and other people can offer perspectives that we might not even consider. We should 1. Practice active listening. When discussing ideas or issues with others, listen fully to their perspectives without interrupting or dismissing them. Ask clarifying questions like, can you help me understand your point of view? 2. Seek out different perspectives. Actively engage with people who have diverse experience, backgrounds, or opinions. This helps you see a situation or problem from multiple angles and widens your understanding. 3. Collaborate to see the bigger picture. When facing a challenge, gather input from others and combine insights to form a more complete view. Remind yourself that your truth may be a part of the whole and not the entire answer. By practicing these lessons, you'll start to understand that it is the mark of an educated man to entertain a thought without accepting it. Aristotle. What this means is that as you actively listen to others, seek out different perspectives, and collaborate to see the bigger picture, you're developing a more open, educated mindset. You're not just accepting what you already know or believe to be true, you're giving yourself the opportunity to consider new ideas and challenge your assumptions. Thanks for watching this video. How would you like to hear more motivational stories consistently? Do me a favor, support the channel by sharing and commenting below, and please make sure to like and hit that subscribe button to get the latest update. Soon, you will be on your way to feeling inspired.